What's up and welcome to the Way Out Gaming. Today's video we're going to be talking about the RX Vega. Now the first thing I'm going to be talking about is a rumor. I'm going to claim it's a rumor as of right now. It seems that from Europe to Asia, the RX Vega 64 is being advertised that is going to be sold at a higher price. They're saying that AMD is telling retailers that the graphics card is going to be sold at a higher price, so they're marking them up. So retailers are marking them up all around. It looks like they're going from $499 to, in the US, $650. I'm calling this a rumor because from all the places that they have marked down here, I don't know if this is all the places that they got confirmation from, but all the places that they have marked down here, I've never heard of. I do understand that I never heard of most of the ones that's overseas because I live in the US, but the ones that they have marked down for the US, I never heard of. Shop Bit, I never heard of that before, or of that retailer before, ever. So I don't really understand it. I don't know if it's true or if it's a rumor. That's why I'm going to say that it's a rumor for right now, because I don't see any legit sites down here, as far as I know, that you would really believe that the price is going up across the board, every shop and every retailer. So we won't know until it comes out, and some people have been saying that it's coming out on the 14th. So I don't really know exactly when it's coming out, because I don't believe, I watched their SIGGRAPH, but they never actually said to on camera that it was coming out on the 14th. So I don't really actually know. Some people are saying it's coming out on 12th. Some people are saying it's coming out on the 14th. So I don't really know that either. But basically it's saying that at this shop bit is going to come out at $650 at I don't even, it's some shop in the UK is Lambda Tech. It's gonna be 703 GBP. I don't know what that is. And MB Computers in India is gonna be 71,500 INR. So I don't know how big those are. If you know how big those two retailers are, write down in the description below and tell me if those are big retailers as far as out there. And they have PC themes in Singapore is going to be $9.99 SGD. In Eurozone, I think I might have heard of that before. Eurozone is going to be 5.99 euros. So I've messaged AMD on, I tweeted AMD on Twitter and asked them if they were raising the prices. I really don't believe they're going to ever get back to me on that, so I'm not holding my breath for that. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm claiming that this is a rumor because as of right now in the US, they don't have down here any big retailers like Amazon or B&H Photos or anything really. Micro Center, they don't have any of them names down here, and it's not actually mentioned in the article. So as far as what I'm knowing right now, they haven't got any confirmation from them. So, and they are the biggest retailers in the US. So pretty much next up is some RX Vega benchmarks has came out. In the RX Vega benchmarks, pretty much was the 3D Mark Fire Strike Performance, 3D Mark Fire Strike Extreme, 3D Mark Fire Strike Ultra, and 3D Mark Time Spy. Now these benchmarks came out, and from what I'm seeing on here, I'm not reading in the comments, and some people are saying that it's somewhere around the Vega, the regular Vega, Frontiers Edition, but that's not what I'm seeing here on the benchmarks, on the scores. Pretty much what I'm seeing here, I don't know. Well, right now they should be actually be able to label them so where you know if they were overclocked or not or whatever. And this one right here doesn't really look like it's overclocked. It just look like it's clocked to the fullest basically extent of the card, or almost the fullest extent of the card, because in one of the later charts I'm going to talk about or whatever, is going to be at a higher actually pace than what it is here. So on here, the highest score for the RX Vega 64, the core clock is at 1630 megahertz. The memory clock is at 945 megahertz, and the score is 22,589. So and it look like it's beating out the MSI GTX 1080 Gaming X, and the highest score for that one is 22,585. So it's beating out by a couple points, not really a lot. And so, and I'm thinking they have a couple different versions of the RX Vega 64 on here. I'm guessing that they were all like older drivers up until the latest release driver. And then the next one, the 3D Mark Fire Strike Extreme, the top RX Vega 64 score is on a core clock of 1750 and the memory clock of 945, and that score is 11,509, and that is beating out the 1080 Ti. I mean, not the 1080 Ti, but the 1080 Gaming X from MSI, and that one is at 10,048. So, and the Fire Strike Ultra benchmark is clocked at, the core clock is clocked at 1750 megahertz for the Fire Strike Ultra, and 945 megahertz for a memory clock. And it's the score is 6,057, and the closest 1080 is 5,431. Okay, then the next one is the 3D Mark Time Spy, and it looks like in the Time Spy, the 1080 Gaming X actually takes the lead in this one. Now the RX Vega 64 is 1750 megahertz core clock and 945 megahertz memory clock, and that one is 7615. And the 1080 is, what's that, 7676. So from here, only one that I see actually winning is the Time Spy, or actually leading is the Time Spy. And on every other one is kind of leading by a big enough margin for pretty much for error is what I'm seeing, because even on the other ones, even though the core clocks were clocked at 1750 megahertz, those were not the only ones that actually surpassed the 1080s. So I can go all the way down to the very first one where it's clocked at 1630 megahertz on the core clock, and it's being ran on R7 1800X, and it's still beating it by a couple hundred points. So it's at 10,419 for the Fire Strike Extreme, and it's still beating out the 1080, which is at 10,048. So it's not really like being super close or whatever. I don't know if it's just the new RX drivers or how they actually did these benchmarks, but they show all the CPUs down here are the Intel CPUs. So they're not Ryzen CPUs for most of them. They do have some Ryzen CPUs on here that it was tested with, but most of them are Intel CPUs. So just in case anybody want to call it a bottleneck or something like that, or I don't know what people call it nowadays, but that's pretty much been the last bit of news that I've had for today. Like I said, for the first bit is a rumor. I have contacted or tweeted AMD on Twitter and and asked them that are they planning on raising the price of the RX Vega 64, because some people, like me, myself included, I have already got the money planned out as far as how I'm going to get it. Now if they do raise it up to $650, now that's going to be pretty much, well, it's going to be pretty much $50 or so over my budget that I'm actually willing to spend for that card. And I don't really plan on getting the 54 or 56 Vega 56 or 54. I can't really remember the name. I don't know. I don't really understand why they will come out with a price and then change at the last minute. So, and knowing that some of their fans may be saving for the card, and if you come out and you tell them that it's $499, then they have $499 plus tax or whatever, and then you come out and be like, oh, it's going to be $650. That's kind of a crappy thing to do when you actually make an announcement with the price on there. But basically that's just me rambling. But that's been it for the video today. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.
Don't judge me, laughing to the bank like ah.